The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 4-year-old, as of tonight, and a 6-year-old.
And my name's Jeff. I have an 11-year-old and an 8-year-old.
I was watching this. Okay, this is really tangent. This wasn't in our show notes. Apologies for that. I was driving my kid to the park the one day, and I was looking to the side. Old man, and I've driven past to this park many times. Old man is just sitting in his driveway. This guy is like always there. This is his thing. Now, firstly, no shame. The man, if that guy is happy there, you do you. You chase your bliss. That's fantastic. So, and there is something to be said about calm, quiet reflection. So, just to be clear, I don't care to throw a lot of shade. At the same time, that seems real boring. And do you think, as we, those who kind of grew up with technology and even most importantly to the show, games, like retirement's going to be awesome, right?
Right? It will be.
Like, there's going to be so much time. There's going to be nobody around and nothing to do.
It's going to be great. You could sit out there still, but have a Switch or something, remote play your PS4, your Xbox. All good.
It's like the porch setup is going to be so choice. The old rocking on the porch will just be same scenario, but there's just a flat screen and a PS. Well, probably 12 at that point, whatever it's called. Yeah,
exactly. You get your headphones clicked in, everything's good. Maybe VR. Maybe you're out there in VR, just like on the deck.
Oh my God! Yeah, I think about I don't like to be chasing retirement all the time, but like just the thought of it sometimes, like when I see some current people who are retired, and it's like if you were just into gaming, you would have so much. And think about the next 10 years, 20 years of backlog that we're going to build up.
Right.
There's going to be so many things we've never touched.
Absolutely. You could finally finish like Fallout or Skyrim or something that...
I'll finally beat God of War.
That's right. There you go.
I'll finally beat Dad of War. It's coming up.
Yes, right, Grandpa Dad of War.
Now, another thing that works great on the porch is a beer. We have beer picks of the week. At least I do. Jeff's taking the night off.
Oh, God.
Which is just fine. Now, myself, continuing my world tour, I took a dip back into America last week. Have another American beer for next week, which I'm excited about. But this week we're heading to Germany.
Oh.
And this is Germany's number one beer. Germany's number one Weissbier. Weissbier. Do you have any insight into how that's supposed to be pronounced?
I'm riding with whatever you say right now. So that sounds correct.
Apology to our German listeners. Yeah. We'll say Weissbier.
Okay.
But this is, the pronunciation of this one. Polner Munchkin,
yeah.
We'll go Weissbier. And for me, there's a lot of these, and I was my general assessment of it is it feels like it's going to be steeped in history. There'll be certain high expectations as far as like this is what a German output beer is like. So I don't think you're going to find passion fruit and cloves. I think it's going to be very much kind of like straight down the middle. I will say that's very much what I got with this beer.
Okay.
And it's delicious. Absolutely delicious. Like, it's real nice. It's clean, crisp. It's a wheat beer, so it's got all those kind of characteristics to it, but straight shooter, quite delicious. You could see... I could understand why it'd be number one, but I honestly think if you'd ever handed me a beer from Germany, this is exactly what I would expect.
Oh, yeah? So you're all ready for Oktoberfest. You're gearing up.
Yeah, exactly. Right around the corner. Jeff and I were talking about before the show, we do need to wind down the summer of beers as we do enter into September.
Yes.
So, I think we probably got a couple more weeks left. I think we're going to top it off with a pumpkin beer. Small salute to a friend of the show, Demat from Twitter. Join him in that. But I think the pumpkin beer will represent the true end of summer, right?
Yes, absolutely. And there's a lot out there right now. So we'll see how they fare.
Yeah.
Taste buds.
Yeah. We'll see how it'd really be bad to end on a sour note.
No.
It's like, this beer sucks. The end. Now, I wanted to... this is a bit of a downer for the show, but I think it dovetails nicely into fatherhood and dealing with loss and sadness with your kids. Unfortunately, this week, myself and our family, we had to put down our pug named Moogle, coming up on 12 years. Phenomenal dog, just real amazing companion, everything else. I think in a note I'd written, I think the biggest takeaway for me was that I often had thought when I was young, like, why is it that charities for dogs, other outreach programs for dogs always got such immediate support, but then people sometimes had a harder time helping other people. And ultimately, I think when you look at how a dog looks at you, how a dog loves you, how it's just so pure and unencumbered by anything else. Like, it's just absolute without any thoughts behind it. Nothing expected back. Like it becomes this it behooves you to treat them with everything because they've given you everything they are and expecting nothing back. And to receive that type of love and companionship is amazing. So I think that's why we so adore our dogs. So it certainly was a big hit, really sad around the house. It was interesting when my kids entered the picture. This was already a kind of old, kind of grumpy dog.
Okay. Yep.
Like, he was fine. He tolerated them. He was never mean to them.
Yeah.
But ultimately, he was not the kid friendly, play with puppy type of dog. Let's all go to the park. I think what would have been a lot worse is if we got him as a puppy when they were young, and they kind of grown up together, and then they pass. Instead, it's more like they came in. Oh, there's this grumpy loaf of bread that hangs out on the couch. And now he's not here anymore. Right. So, I mean, I was a bit more curious because I know, Jeff, you and your family had a pet pass.
Yes. And
your kids being a bit older, I think there's a bit of a bigger connection. So I don't want to say dodge a bullet's not the right way to say it. That almost sounds glib, but it's just there was not the connection that my kids had to the dog. So it was a very easy explanation. They're like, oh, he died. He's gone. Like, yes. That's it. So I would be curious, almost from just a experience point of view, and for dads listening, how did it go down, and what worked well in your family, kind of working through the grief of losing a pet?
So my dog passed last December. She was 15, so she was at the top end of her age. She was awesome. And again, like you said, like, it's just like this dog that kind of lived through everything that your life has kind of changed. So like, when we got married and first kid, second kid, house, car, like there's pictures of your dog everywhere. So
that is killer. We have smart devices that like scroll through old photos.
Yeah.
And just every time it's like, and there he was on the first car, and there he was with the first kid, and there's
right.
There it is.
It's like this like living scrapbook that kind of followed you around. So, my kids were a little bit older, so my oldest was, my dog would have been 5 when he was born, and then 7, 8 when my second was born. My second, though, my youngest, adored our dog. Like, we have pictures and videos of, like, they're just, my dog would just lick his face, right? Like, so he has very fond memories. He was heartbroken when things happened. It happened quite quickly. So like, even like the situation did not go down that well. Like, we weren't, prepared for that day. So he was kind of like, it was like that shock, like ripped from his usual routine, right? Because he would wake up and pet the dog and stuff. But what helped us, like, kind of come down from that was just like all the stories and all the memories that he had. And, we got like the little paw prints, and they painted the little paw prints and stuff. But, and I'm not trying to make light of it, but it's just what kids do.
Yeah.
My kid, because it was virtual school and a pandemic, we'd hear him chime into class like every day for like 2-3 weeks. Just like, hi, everybody. Elton here. My dog died. Oh, so boy. I would just like everyone to know that I'm still kind of sad about it, but my dog did die. I'm kind of sad. And then just continue on with the class. Like, that was it. He just needed to get that out and just let everyone know.
It's kind of nice that he's in touch with that, too. He's not afraid to show vulnerability. That's kind of nice, actually.
Yeah, no, but that's, that's how he got through it. My oldest kind of like, maybe more like he wasn't as connected, but he did have a hard time. Then he wrote a story about her, and that kind of got it out with him. So like that helped. But again, my youngest just kind of acknowledging those feelings and getting through them helped. Like that was a lot. And then like a lot of the artwork that came home from class was like, oh, he drew her a lot. Like he was just like best buds with her dog. So like that was good to see too. So he's got those memories, and you know, you're always wondering like, when did those memories fade? And you know,
must be like tiny stabs in the heart for you, because we've been getting sent. You know, I made some posts and people were being incredibly kind. Like everybody's, I think, can relate to the pain of it.
Yeah.
I remember this one night we're reading this story that describes like where dogs go and how you'll see them again type of thing, and we're just like bawling at the end of it, because people are sending these wonderful, beautiful messages, and then you think about something and it's just like woof, like it just punches you in the gut. So I don't know if you had that reaction with the drawings, or at that point things had kind of solved a bit.
Yeah, no, I myself was like full on tears. Every single time that, you know, it would just conjure up those feelings and those memories would just come back. And a lot of people that, like, when I guess my dog died, a lot of people would donate to the Humane Society in her name, and then you get those letters back like 3 to 4 months later, and you're like, oh God, like
this back.
There's a lot right now. But
so
no, you know, it's one of those things that.
So how would you summarize this? So that was the having them express their emotions, work, and it sounds like a lot of it kind of happened in their own time. So it didn't sound like you're trying to force them out of it, but it sounded like they worked through it with creativity, as far as like stories, drawings,
and announcements.
One of your sons announcements. Well, one was just like very open about it, and kind of everybody allowed him to grieve. So it sounds like that was sort of how the family moved on.
Yeah, like it was something that we kind of kept watch on, just to see how they would react and if they were turning in, because we didn't want them to turn in, right? And I think part of that, you know, not to like down the show too much, but if I express my emotion and just be like, you know, mooey macho guy like is crying over his, you know, little 9-pound dog, not to, it's just how society works. Like, you know, guys are told not to cry, or it's like a weakness. To teach that to your kids, like, hey, that emotion's cool. Like, that is how you get this out. That's how you process it. That's how you move on. Like, all that stuff. I think my kids are more in tune to that. And that was good to see. Yeah. Again, heartbroken from it, but, like, good to see. Like, they're getting that stuff out.
That is true. I have a lot of faith. I think most parents that I interact with now, like, they all seem to be attuned to that. Or it's that's like, good, you know, when we were growing up, it started to come around. So I can't really say we came from an age where no cry, no emotions. I think there's some remnants of that still. Yeah. As far as like the culture, it kind of like passed on through like media and television stuff. But I think we had started to see like, no, you guys should probably have emotions.
Have emotions? Yeah. You probably should. Yeah.
And now this generation, I wonder if you see the same thing with most parents that I know. It's sort of like, no, like, look, this macho nonsense is not good or healthy. So just, man, you want to be sad, you be sad. If you want to do that thing, you want to dance, man? I don't care. Go do that. That's fine. That's awesome. So it feels like we're moving on.
Yeah, like we even offered, like, hey, you want to take a couple days off school? Like, and my kids were like, no. What are you talking about? Like, I want to go share this with my friends. I'm like, okay, like, okay. You had free days off school. Now they're probably kicking themselves, but like, no, they wanted to share their feelings with their friends. So I'm like, oh, that's a very adult way of looking at things. So it's good.
Yeah, I hear you, man. So, cheers to Moogle.
Yes.
Cheers to your dog as well. So, dog's name?
Bella.
Bella. So, cheers to Bella. Cheers to Moogle, and any other dads with a pet there. We're blessed to have them in the life, so we have them. Show us what love can be, and gives us something to aspire to. So, Thank you, Moogle, for everything. Now, we had a great tweet from good friend of the show, Bill, from A Gamer Looks at 40, which, by the way, I should almost apologize for Bill for like him being the transition after the sad segment.
Well,
but a very well emotionally balanced and strong man, Bill, that runs an awesome podcast. A Gamer Looks at 40. On our previous episode, we had talked about how it's all of these craft beers just always seem to want to crack at like 8, like 6, 8, 12%. Like they get kind of up there.
Yeah,
and
they do.
It's like these craft beers are delicious, but man, I can't be having more than one. It's like I got dad stuff to do.
Yeah.
So Bill from A Gamer Looks at 40 comes around and gives his summation of the last 15 minutes that he had gone through. Step 1, turned on New Dad Gaming as I do some light editing. Step 2, listen to their weekly beer picks. Step 3, hear them claim 6% beer is a bit high. Step 4, go to beer fridge. Step 5, find nothing under 8%. Highest is 15.7.
I don't know where that is, but that's crazy.
I think that beer is called Jack Daniels. I don't know what beer you're talking about. And step 6, return to computer, question life choices.
Oh, I mean, all
Hey,
those beer choices are great. So
if you have beer choices in the fridge, your life choices are working out real nice. So,
absolutely.
oh man, I honestly, legitimately was laughing out loud at the thought of it because like we're sitting here complaining about 6s and he's already well past 8, all the way up to 15.
Right. Well, I was going back in the episodes just be like, okay, no, every single time we were like, oh man, I can't have more than one of these because I'll be asleep on the couch. Meanwhile, like, he's at 15% saying, what are you guys talking about? This does not faze me. So.
I've had to slow my roll sometimes. Let's say we're at a barbecue or something and sipping a beer a friend hands me, and this, you start to feel it a lot quicker than you'd expect.
Yes.
And you're in the midst of family situation. You got kids running around. Then you look at it, you're like, oh, 12. Okay. I'm going to need to just maybe I'll have a couple glasses of water first.
Yes. I'm going to
slow the roll.
That energy has to be, kick back a notch. So.
Hashtag dad life. Absolutely adore it. So, cheezing in video games.
Yes.
Does it improve with age?
I think it does. What do you think? Cheezing absolutely does.
I absolutely do. Now, let me give some context for this. So cheezing, this is where you are fighting a huge boss, but you hide behind a rock, and they can't get to you. So you're just like pinging them slowly, and you kill them. You find a vantage point where they can't get you. So you're able to defeat somebody you have no business defeating.
Right. With
patience, a bit of ingenuity, and some dumb luck.
Yeah, yeah.
And it feels so satisfying. Let me set the stage for why I bring this up. Okay. In Hades, I'm using God mode, which I had labeled. Which, by the way, everybody, just please play Hades. Like,
yes.
Everyone,
I will.
Dads,
you're talking to me.
Yeah, dads, I really do suggest it. Like, it is something. Anyways, it has what I call Dad mode. They call God mode. Every time you die, you take 2% less damage.
Okay.
You have damage resistance. So over the course of the game, was playing through, it was going up pretty nicely because I'm not doing great. Yeah. So next thing you know, like I'm at 36%, right? Okay. And I did beat it.
Nice.
Hooray,
okay, good.
Wonderful.
Yay.
Which is awesome. There's a lot of content though. I don't want to get too spoilery. There's a lot of kind of interesting stuff that happens. I'm about to go through it all. Okay. But there's a lot of content left over that if you continue to do runs, like you kind of unlock, you get to see things. And this isn't just like cosmetics. There's actually kind of interesting story bits that I want to get because I do love this story.
Yep.
I don't want to keep beating the game though because I'm not good at this game.
Right.
And it takes a while. I don't want to like have to do fruitless runs and fail. So
I get you.
So what I did over the course of like this evening is after you beat it, you can put on additional challenges. Okay. One of those challenges is that you only have 5 minutes to make it to like the next level of hell. So your run starts and you have 5 minutes.
Oh, great. Time limits. Okay. Yeah.
So what I'd do is I would start a new run.
Yeah.
And then I would walk away. and then in about 5 to 10 minutes, I would come back, like, like we offer dinner, or like I'm helping with some dishes. Let me go just a second. I'll go down, start a new run, and walk away.
Oh my God.
My character is now at 80% damage resistance, which is the absolute max. Like that, I did some Googling on it. That's as high as you can get. I'm a little disappointed. I kind of wish
they won't give you more than that. Come on.
I kind of wish at least 90, if not 100. Just give it to me. Like let me just completely cheese it. So anyway, I had this whole scheme going so I could just completely jack up his damage resistance so that my runs are almost guaranteed to be successful. Because I got pretty good at it. I could always get to the end boss. He was always kind of tricky, but by the end, I beat him soundly would be the probably way to say it. So now at 80%, I'm feeling pretty good about it, so I can kind of charge through these last runs to unlock the rest of the story.
I mean,
And the reason I knew you were going to be good at it is a tweet you had given recently from Dark Souls, where why don't you set up this clip? Because I was, again, this is another, I was howling when I saw this. It was perfect.
yeah. So Dark Souls won't give you that energy boost that you need to. They'll actually take away your energy. So every time you die, you take away. But yeah, if you can cheese this game, because it's got some jankiness to it, and especially because it's an old game and it's been remastered, there is this one part where it's all a hub world and you can go wherever you want, and it doesn't tell you, hey, this is too hard for you, you shouldn't be here. And the only way you'll find out is if an enemy comes in and just, bonks you on the head and you're done. So I was not supposed to be in the Valley of the Drakes, and the Drakes are huge dragon type creatures that are on cliffs, and I saw this huge dragon, and I decided to hide outside of his attack range and just pelt it with arrows, 150 of them.
So what we're seeing on video is this humongous dragon.
Yeah.
Like 100 times Jeff's size, and he's just sitting like slightly hidden behind the corner, just pink,
Yep.
pink,
Yeah.
pink, just dwindling his health like 5 at a time as a dragon sits there, entirely unable to react. And
Nope.
God, like, you beat a character, what, a good 100 times you're leveling?
Oh, easily. And the stuff I got from him was great. Like, now I'm like super
overpowered.
equipped to go through. But yeah, absolutely. Like, if I could cheese this game, I mean, that to me is beating it. That is just finding a way past whatever the game developer wanted me to do. Sorry, I thought out of the box or out of the attack box.
The attack box, nice. The hitbox. What I was kind of curious about, and I get the feeling you feel the same thing as well, is that what drove me to do my nonsense and getting it is that it was it's fun. Like it was enjoyable to do that, and then the rewards for doing it would be, I'm gonna have such an easier time being able to just blast through this game. So the entire act of cheesing it was fantastic. And it's almost like, especially now with kids and like limited game time, the thought that like you can find these hacks to like get around and bend the game to your will so you can get out of it what you want is so gratifying, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I've brought my kids in on the cheesing of it.
Come watch how daddy takes shortcuts.
Yes, absolutely.
Stay in school.
And my oldest is all about it now. So like he's the one that would do up the weapons list for Dark Souls and try to get me like all this stuff. But he would try to find out like, hey dad, you can beat this boss if you go and like at this certain like location and just hit it from there and you're safe. I'm like, you know what, son? You've learned a lot. This is great. Thank you for helping dad. It's like, handing dad the wrench to fix the car. It's like, thank you, son. This is great. I love it.
That is amazing.
Let's cheese the game.
God, yeah. If any gaming dads have their own cheesing moments, but I always enjoyed it. It's a cheap thrill when I was a kid, but now as an adult, like this has just been a blast. I cannot wait to do my next run, where it's just I'm not going to be taking barely any damage.
No, absolutely not. Come on.
Laughing to the bank. But now your kid is helping you with Dark Souls, but it also seems like he's helping himself to
again
your property for parties. The second time, part 2.
So this is a running trend. Any listener to the show will go back a couple episodes to be like, why is Jeff's 11-year-old handing out birthday invites for his own birthday party that we have not
not approve
blessed? So this was not my oldest, this was my youngest, who took cues from his brother, his older brother, and said, hey, I would like to do a movie night. And he said this inside his head, not to us, and printed out movie tickets to invite all the neighborhood kids out to our property to have a movie night outside. I mean, come on. I don't understand where, again, ingenuity, great. Motivation,
it's so
initiative.
Frustrating is that like you had the idea, the execution, the creativity, you printed tickets.
Yes.
You were bold and sociable in inviting people.
Right.
It's about getting a community together. All great things. All great things.
Great. Yes, absolutely. Slow clap.
But it is a damn illegal block party. I didn't approve this.
Yes.
It's probably against certain COVID protocols.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
I so badly want to appreciate it and encourage it, but like also, can you not? Can we not do this?
Yeah, and again, I'm not going to speak for all dads out there, but like to supervise 12 other kids is not my idea of Friday night fun. I'm just saying, like, it's just not. Great to show that initiative and like support your kids. But oh man, I have to go out and watch a movie that I've watched 4 times already, and it was a lot. But again, we had a little talk with him afterward to be like, you just need to check with us. You need to have that plan. You need to run it by us. Make sure everybody knows about it, because parents are just dropping off their kids and then leaving.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Are you kidding me?
No,
you
they're
tell me
just
I could just leave my kid at Jeff's house
that's
all
what
day.
it is. Come on over, Trevor. Come on.
Does he even
just
have a
drive
kid?
down.
I don't care. Just
leave a random kid. I'll take care of them for 2 hours, and you got to take him back, or he's got to go somewhere.
I'll feed him.
Yes, we did. We had popcorn. They had little cups. We had a little popcorn machine going.
Had to. Of course you do.
Well, now it's just a thing, and now everybody wants to come back. So maybe we should have made it like a horrible experience where people don't want to come back, but they want to do this next weekend. Actually, my kid said, "How about tomorrow?" I'm like, "No, Daddy's not ready for that yet."
No. We need some time in between this.
Yeah. Let's go back to school for a bit and then go from there.
Is it any sense of foreboding for you around them having house parties when you're not around? So they have the capability.
Oh.
They have the social structure of which they can sound the horn and they'll come out of the woodwork to your house. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what happens when they get to high school, champ.
I am terrified of that happening, and I'm terrified of leaving the house alone and having them just like run. Obviously, it can happen. It happens when they're 8 and 11 years old. Mm-hmm. So, God, what does high school and college look like? I don't know, man. Like, don't throw that thought out there. Like, maybe
you got to prepare it. It just doesn't feel like it's much of a. Doesn't sound so much an if as it is a when. Really,
it's a when. Yeah, absolutely.
God,
I don't know.
That's fascinating. Actually, which one of our kids? The problem is you have such a huge age jump on ours. It'd have to be your kids that has the party.
I mean,
Busting
maybe
up
we take odds on it.
Gaming dad vote. That sounds great. Yeah. But it's like what does that feel like for a gaming dad where it's the first time you bust your kids having a party at your house?
So back in our day, parents would lock up all the alcohol. I'm more worried about my PS5. I don't care. You want to drink alcohol and be stupid about it and puke in the toilet, whatever. But my PS5 better not be touched.
You don't touch my save files.
That's right.
I got a great run going in Hades. If I come back here and you've cheesed anything, I'll be so upset.
I put it in rest mode. You can't touch it. Who touched my game? So yeah, no, that's more my concern. I'm talking electronics. I'm not talking alcohol. I don't know.
Yes. In case. Yeah.
It's a true fact. I don't know.
It's a different time.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh Lord. All right. So that's a happy note to end on.
I think so.
Our dreading the futures about when we're gonna actually break up parties with our kids. It's coming. It's coming.
It is, and we'll have a show on it, no doubt.
Yeah.
Even if we don't do the show like before then, we'll just come back as a special. Do you know what I mean?
Man.
Like,
God, it's gonna be retired dad gaming.
Yeah.
Instead of new dad gaming, it's gonna be the new iteration of the show, and it's like, well, I have like 16 hours a day. I'm not doing anything, so I beat 4 games. It was great.
totally different. Yeah, totally different.
It'll all be like what works for your old man dexterity or lack thereof. Like nothing else. Oh, I can't wait. All we got to do is survive for another 30 years of podcasting.
That's the plan. I don't know.
This is a contract as far as I'm concerned, so we're signed up. And I'm sure everybody here will be listening then, as we have to thank you for listening to this show. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. If you would like to subscribe to the podcast, you can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, any of the major podcasting services. As you saw during this show, big shout outs to A Gamer Looks at 40 and Bill, great friend of the show, and a couple other tweets that came around. We really love to interact with fans and gaming dads. If you have your own memorial for your dog, or ways that you dealt with the loss of a pet with your kids and your family. If you have a particularly cherished cheese moment where you totally broke a game in the most gratifying way possible, we'd love to hear this type of stuff. You can find us at newdadgaming.com. On Twitter, you can find us at newdadgaming. Reach out to us. Would love to hear from you. If you do subscribe to the podcast, what really helps to us, well, besides a subscription, is if you leave a rating and a comment on it. That really helps us get out there, be more noticed, and get out to gaming dads. So, until next week, thank you everybody so much for listening. My name is Trevor, and I have a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have an 11-year-old, an 8-year-old that held a block party. Who knows what is going to happen in the future, but just so you know, just because you became a dad
doesn't mean it's game over.